in 2 seconds after we hear his song, we have XLA, and here's the track that's going to lead off our Behind the Music series. This is called From Here. I'll be right back.
My footsteps off the ground, a million miles away. I think I'm losing sound. Hello, I've made it to the stars, but now I've lost my way, and now I'm too far gone. Let go. It all seems smaller from here. We've conquered all our fears. I've always wondered how it is to see from here. It all seems smaller from here. We've conquered all our fears. I've always wondered how it is to see from here. The curse was once afar, a fallen path of flames. From dust to free we are echoes. No stone is left unturned, reflections unexplained. The glass of time can scar XO. It all seems smaller from here. We've conquered all our fears. I've always wondered how it is to see from here. It all seems smaller from here. We've conquered all our fears. I've always wondered how it is to see from here.
Beautiful, energetic display by XLA with From Here on AVA Live Radio. Please welcome him. Hello there.
Hello, hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am fabulous, actually. I love the energy of your music. It's so much fun. People just must write into you all the time that they're dancing like crazy to it.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that, and thanks for having me on the show. Yeah, it's a pretty high energy. It's pretty good for. It's a substitute for coffee.
Yeah, it is. So true, so true. I know, right? We could just blast it in the studio and we could just keep everybody going.
Or sometimes what happens is that when we're driving in the car, we basically find that we're pressing a bit harder on the gas than usual because of the up-tempo.
I love it. That's funny. Yeah, very, very true. What gave you the idea? What made you want to go down this road?
Wow. road is the right word. It's a road, right? I mean, it's a journey. It's just along the way we just discover we discover ourselves in music, and we end up crossing paths with people who have similar visions, and we end up experimenting, and it's just all a fun ride.
It really is, isn't it? Have you been doing electronic-based music for a long time?
Well, electronic-based music, I've been listening to it for a long time, but it's pretty much I've evolved, like the style that I've been doing. I have a passion for acoustic music as well. So, I mean, I had, when I was younger, I was kind of known for like just trying and doing a lot of different things and being eclectic and just grabbing an instrument and just jamming out with it and seeing what came out of it.
Uh-huh.
And as we kind of went on, I mean, I just discovered this world of electronic music, kind of through some DJs internationally, and it stuck with me. And I found a nice little type of recipe that works musically and lyrically, and it's just really nice. And I get really inspired when I hear a song that moves me as much with the energy as it does with the lyrics, and that's pretty much what I try to do.
I love that. Yeah, it's true. It's about the inspiration, isn't it? Who inspires you the most?
Oh God. Well, there's a lot. I mean, growing up, I had a lot of different inspirations that kind of molded me into what I am now. But then, of course, there are all these new types of artists, and not only artists, but just leaders in the world that kind of inspire you to really put things down. I mean, Michael Jackson will be always one of the greats. I used to listen to the Red Hot Chili Peppers, the Gypsy Kings. I mean, some international music also. This singer that I love, he sings kind of like Morley in French. His name is Enrico Macias, and just amazing on the guitar, and just kind of like really knows how to strike a chord, and just kind of connected with a lot of people from around the world. And I connected with that stuff. It just stuck with me, and I kind of like have a mission to kind of like try to write a meaningful type of songs that people can connect with, and I hope that it's working out.
I think so. I really do. I love it. I think that you've got a beautiful style, and it's
Thanks
really
so much.
unique. There's a lot of people that go into, like dance music and experiment with all the different styles within the genre, but there's not a lot of people that put out really quality original productions. And I'm sure that you realize that, like, in your style, it's a heavy, like, take everybody else's music and mix it together. It's like heavy in that. So it's really unusual to find somebody who's kind of mastering it and very, very much just set in the style, and embracing it as an art form.
Wow.
And that's what's really great about your music that I find.
Thanks so much, and I do appreciate the feedback. Sometimes we kind of get lost in our own worlds and just kind of like just in the basement or in the laboratory, and just we do our own thing. And when the music finally comes out, it's nice to hear comment and feedback from people, for the fans, and for people who just listen and appreciate the music. Because in the end, that's where we're aiming to be, is in the listener's ear. So if they can appreciate that, and I do appreciate the angle at you, because every time I talk to somebody, they give me a new perspective that I never really thought of, and it just helps us as artists develop as well, and kind of create a little bit of a feedback loop to see what works well, and how we mend well with music, and continue to discover it and continue to explore it, and kind of. Not my kind of thing is like, don't put a barrier in front of you. Just try it. Just go for it, and you never know what can happen.
Yeah, that is so, so true. You don't need to, right? I was just reading a passage in a book that I'm constantly reading from, because it's just so inspiring, and it's got a positive direction. And it was saying that you have to fight. You have to pick your battles. In other words, don't put so much in front of yourself. Don't look at everything like it's such a challenge and such a hurdle, because most of the things are just so small that, you could just worry yourself into an early grave very easily, you know, you just worry all the time. And this is just like that. When you're an artist, you can either look at it like it's a journey and you're just kind of, you know, getting through it and learning each time and growing and challenging yourself, or you can look for it as like, I need to get to this one point and this is all a hurdle in between. And that just makes life miserable, doesn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, it's exactly that. We worry so much about everything in life. Like there's enough to worry about out there that, I mean, and just kind of like half the battle is just doing it and finding out for yourself and knowing that, you know, even if there's like, to me, the word failure is not really, it's not a concept that I embrace, because when you are doing anything, failure is actually, you know, quote unquote, part of the process, no matter what you do. So, I mean, it just has to be there. It's just something that, you know, I kind of look at it like fail forward, and let's say, you know, oh, you didn't make that hit song, or you didn't make that whatever, but you gained something else that was much more valuable than had you not even try. We miss 100% of the shots we don't even take, right? So, but,
very true. So, great advice.
I read a lot also of those books, and
you do. I love them, don't you?
Yeah. A lot of those books. I have tons.
They're just terrific. You know, the perspective of a really good writer is it just makes all the difference in the world, because from day to day, like you know, you and I are pointing out, there are things that you will feel will get in your way, and you're not always going to be in the same space you were yesterday, but sometimes it really helps to hear that reminder, you know, or that perspective, that little point of view that keeps you on the positive side, for sure, and makes it not all seem like such a big deal. For sure. I'm watching your music video right now, From Here. Why don't you tell me a little bit about it, because it's great. Visually, there's so much going on. Did you film every piece of that, and did you have the vision before it?
It was really a fun adventure. That music video was, to me, was like a miracle. It was a lot of it was vision to begin with. Of course, like the song, it was written, right? But just putting that into images and imagery is another type of dimension that, as an artist, you kind of, if you do get the opportunity to kind of like take the lead on what you want to portray in the video, then it's really powerful to be able to connect it to the source of the meaning of the song. And that song was all about feeling the way. The video was all about, like, I mean, on some days, you know, a few locations were selected just like the day before, and it couldn't have been a better pick. And, you know, it rained in the morning on the day that we shot a couple of takes, and we couldn't have predicted that, but it worked out. And like I said, we couldn't have planned it better. And in the end, when we got into the editing stage, like post-production, it's the same way that I can say the same way that the song wrote itself, the video, it actually created itself as well. It's like building blocks. I have a mentor that tells me, you know, you can only build on what you know. You know, and music is just like that. Like, it's kind of like when I'll write a song, I'll start with, sometimes you won't have the inspiration of the song right away, but you'll start somewhere, right? And then you'll build from there. And to me, the video was kind of like the same thing, except that it just fit. And then in the end, the story told itself in such a magnificent way, and all the participants in the video, and they have such strong, like, expressive type of or expressions in their face that are all natural. Like, had I showed you those takes and I just took out the music and I just put the real audio, you would see like the realness of it. Like, the people were like the smile, the laugh, the seriousness. Everything was so real. It wasn't like, okay, take 2, take 4, take 10. It was really natural, and that's what I love about type of creating, is that kind of spontaneity.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Where are you guys filming that? Is it that an old building or an aircraft carrier or both? Or where was that?
You know, there's a lot of locations there, actually.
It looks like
there is like 3. We filmed in 3 different cities, and probably a total of 5 or 6 or 7 locations. and it was kind of crazy. But there was a couple of locations was like a military base, an old military base that was obviously no longer being used, but a lot of artists would go there and kind of like it's just open to the public, and sometimes they have like spray paint artists would go there and just kind of spray paint on the walls, and it's actually allowed there. And
wow,
a huge peace sign made out of rocks, and you go in there, and every like inch of the place is like has like a message like spray painted on the walls or something, and it's just you feel the energy. And there's a couple other locations where like by the water, where you see that you see the park, the bench, and then where the water is. Normally the water's not that high, but in at one part of the season the water goes up, so it looks like the park bench is in the water.
I'm seeing it right now.
Yeah, and it just happened to be the timing, you know. So we're like, let's do it there. We're shooting today, and you know, but
wow, that's
and then
amazing.
it was just so much fun. Like honestly, it was so fulfilling. It really is a fulfilling thing when you do something and it comes through like that, and people actually connect with it. But yeah, there was also an old airport that was pretty significant in the story as well. The old man that was there was actually an old man from our neighborhood, and he was a poor man. He had a dog, and I would always walk the streets and see him on the side. And sometimes one day he just said, "Hey, why don't you come sit here and on my patio, which is basically the sidewalk, and he offered me a beer." You know,
oh,
he's like,
that's so cool.
Have a drink with me. And you can imagine, it just shows the character of people who like have nothing but give everything. So it's kind of like it was really inspiring for the video. Yeah,
it is. It's a beautiful, beautiful video. Really well done. Who was the cameraman?
Thank you.
Who designed it for you?
Yes, the cameraman, I have to say his name is Moussa Fadoul, and he's a longtime friend, a great cameraman. So like loves spontaneity. We connect so well. And it was such a long time that I haven't worked with him. The last time I did was for another video clip, which was done like 10 years ago. And
oh my God.
I just remember, I was like, and I just remember he's the guy for this type of video, because some people really like things to be like, okay, it's got to be at 10:20, we're going to be here, at 10:25, we're going to do this, the sun's going to rise and set.
Right.
But you can't predict everything. And what he does and what we do together is like, the chemistry is like we make the best out of anything, and as a matter of fact, better than in some cases than what we could have planned. So it's just like whatever's there, we'll use this. We see the rock, we'll see that. I mean, that's a true like cameraman, and he's crazy. Like he'll put his life in danger to get a shot.
He's a true video artist, that's for sure. And you guys really do work well together, because he captures you really, really well. It's effective, and he's good with a camera. It's not just the shots that I'm looking aren't just like the usual shots. They're really, really emotional and expressive. He captures light. He's got a really good eye. So I think that you chose a very, very, good to have friends. Good to have good friends like that. Talented
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, like, I mean, a lot of it's chemistry. Like when when you work well with people, and it's just like, things just happen. I mean, it's such an enjoyable process, and you're like, no matter what. I mean, it was freezing at some points, and it was not like this amazing glamorous type of video. I mean, we walked in the mud, but we actually used shots that we were walking in the mud, and we made the best of it. And I think that's what you look for in any type of creative process.
For sure. Where are you calling in from? Are you in Canada right now?
I am in Canada, from the nation's capital, Ottawa.
Awesome. What's it like there for you in music? Is it easy to find places to play your music?
Ottawa's it's a small city. It's more quiet in Ottawa. I lived in Montreal, which is a lot more festive, and there's a lot of big festivals, and it's international. Like, I mean, we have the International Jazz Festival, a lot of interesting and eclectic for all genres. But because I like to be between Ottawa, Montreal, and Toronto. Those are the cities, and those are the cities actually I filmed a video in as well. And and they're all pretty special. I'd have to say that the vibe is a little bit different from city to city. There's a lot of nice little, like I'd say Montreal has a lot of niche clubs and a lot of niche venues and places where you can, a lot of artistic talent and musicians. Ottawa is a very national city. It's like everything's pretty much bilingual. You have the Canada Day that happens here with fireworks, and you have there's very big stages that are kind of like a good representation of Canadian arts as a whole. And then like Montreal is more like a laboratory where you see a lot of experimental stuff that just like it's born in the city and then eventually it goes like worldwide. And Toronto is closer to, I'd say, US. It's very like the quality of production goes up a notch. People tend to maybe invest a bit more in their practice than they would in neighboring cities. So it's
interesting.
Yeah,
it's really interesting. Yeah, I don't think I've talked to anybody about Ottawa on the show before. Lots of Toronto, Montreal, Quebec, and I don't think we've had Ottawa on the show. So it's interesting to hear your point of view on what's going on there, It's a great pleasure to have you on the show and learn about your music. You're truly inspiring, and I hope that you continue to challenge yourself, because I think that you're just such a great talent, and in this industry, it's all about being unique. And I think that you've got, you have that edge, that ability to do that. You not only have a good vision for the visuals, but you can make the music too. So I really can't wait to follow your journey and see what comes out.
Well, thank you so much, Jaqueline. That's very nice to hear. And, it's great. I mean, I love what you do as well. It's really nice that you help out with the artists and kind of like take an interest in the way that you do, and just kind of explore further in places where, you can discover that gem that a lot of the artists do have. And I think that's their unique, makes them unique. And I really do appreciate that. And thanks for having me once again.
It's great to have you here. I'm glad you're part of our music community, and can't wait to keep working with you. I think this is wonderful. What's coming out next? Do you have something that you're releasing right back to back?
Well, there's constantly new writings and new songs. There was a new release that came out actually today, and it was an international collaboration with different countries. And I think I want to keep going on that path, just kind of doing more music internationally and working with different countries and different languages. I'm really excited because today I got the translation of the song From Here in the language of Chinese.
No,
or I should say
Mandarin.
Mandarin, yeah.
Oh, how exciting!
I just got it.
So that's what From Here is about. You're doing you're doing it in different languages?
Well, no, that was it's From Here. The concept of it, the thing is, most of the music that I do is very international, kind of like worldly, if it will. There was a different release that came out, but I kind of, all this is happening at the same time, and I have, as I said, the song From Here, I connected with an old friend who is living in China, and they took interest in translating it in Mandarin, and they said that everybody down there they love it, but they have to see the words under it.
Oh, I see. Okay, that makes sense.
So, yeah, I mean, they really needed to, because they're down there. They really love karaoke and love to sing along. So, yeah, I
love it. That's great.
But there's other songs that I've been working with other very talented artists from Canada, Italy, UK, and I think it's Australia, so around the world. And I think I want to continue down that path. It's sometimes, we focus on one thing at a time, and the creative process takes sometimes, we want to really take the time to create well and make sure that we do something that can last,
Very true. Yeah. It's just almost like a classic. And I don't really feel that your music is, like a trend-based type of production.
Wow.
It seems like it's just very heartful, and soulful, just coming from something that you're interested in and that you're feeling at the moment,
Wow, that's so nice.
You're welcome. You're very, very welcome. Keep up the great work. I will talk to you again very soon.
Thank you so much, Jaqueline, and I hope that, thank you very much to AVA Live Radio.
Our pleasure. Our pleasure. Oh, my gosh. He's so great. What a wonderful artist. XLA on AVA Live Radio's Behind the Music. I look forward to seeing more from him. He's just got such great talent and promise, and I think that he's sincerely onto something, because when you can take the visual and do it so well, and then you can produce music that truly comes, inspired from the soul, and you don't have to pull from different trends. You don't have to do anything except what it is that you truly care about. I think that makes a really special journey, and that's what music fans love to see. I certainly do. So I'm excited to see more from him for sure.